probably half of you going to the gardens and half going to the inside of the palace, okay? The ones inside, you know precisely that you're going inside, and the gardens as well, right? Do I need to tell?
That would be good.
Yeah, I'll tell. So, just for everyone to see, because we're doing the same route, we're going all to the same place, then when the ones going inside, I'll put you in. The ones only with the gardens, stay with me for me to show you around, for you not to miss details. There is a few things that make sense, okay? We'll go doing all together, but for everyone to have the same experience, okay? Besides the ones going inside. Let's see. So, feed it inside. Gardens. Stay with me after I put them inside. Then chopra inside. Sorry if I don't say it correctly. I'm so sorry. Portuguese. Jesus. We're a mess. We're similar to the Spanish, but we're like, Spanish is too easy. Let's make it difficult. Then we create these sounds that I cannot explain. Let's go. So, Matt, gardens.
Yes.
Okay. Lorena, here, gardens as well. Larissa, gardens. Kathy Lam, inside the gardens. Brenda, inside the gardens. Eski. Gardens, okay. Amy. Gardens. Jody. Inside. Mike Van Uwijk. Is that correct? Inside as well. Haruka. Inside. Catherine, inside. Alessandra, gardens. Okay, we all go together. At some point, I will distinguish who's inside and stuff. Okay. So now microphone. I don't know if you missed it, but here we go. Now I'll have to tell everything about what you're going to see. I don't want you to miss information. We have a lot of things for us to actually focus on. So let's go.
So here we go. Welcome back. Hope that everyone had enough ginger for us to keep walking. We're not walking that much, or we're not actually having to rush. We go quietly and smoothly, okay? Will be easier. So talking about the palace, connecting with what already said, I'm going to be functional on this one. One thing that I need to actually tell is I'm not going to share anything about the inside. Now, I don't want to be a spoiler. I will do it after. I will explain room by room after you see it. Okay? I know that palace better than my house. So it's all good. An example of that is like, I've tried to get the sugar in my house the weekend. I didn't know what was it. Here I know precisely what it is. This one, I'm doing this work because there is a lot of things inside that I want to rob when there is a riot. So I'm just waiting for the moment, okay? If you see something that you like, bring it with you. I'll just find a buyer. We'll share. Okay, here we go. Now, continuing that thematic, the palace was made by an artist, several inspirations. That's why I'm talking about not spoiling and all that. Being the palace of the artist, we have three meanings for the name. If we translate it in Portuguese, to Portuguese, Pena, it means feather, it means what a pity, but the real meaning of it is the saint of the artist, which is our holy saint of Pena. So that's a reference to the palace of the artists, okay? That's why Pena Palace. Then, the palace had a lot of centuries. We can actually look to the two colors now. It's easier to actually identify. We have the yellow part related to the 19th century, the red part related to the 16th century. How does that work? First of all, the first building built on top of the mountain was a chapel. That chapel was built by the monks' bare hands. Why? They believed it would be closer to heaven. Their prayers would be listened and answered by God. That's why they actually built it. Actually, they built it with seashell and rocks that they brought from the Bay of Cascais. The name Cascais, it comes from the word Cascales, which is a mountain of seashells. So that's why this connection, okay? Then, the king, 16th century, King Manuel, with the same ideology as the monks, they actually built a monastery on top of that chapel. The monastery had 18 monks who lived inside. Unfortunately, there was the earthquake in 1755. Everything collapsed. Almost everything fell apart. What happened is that they didn't rebuild it. They moved the monks to the other side. There is another chapel. They actually moved there. It's called Peninha, which means a little feather, or the saint, once again, art. Thing is, when the king came to Portugal to actually get married with our queen, he actually fell in love with the area and he acquired a whole area with this fortune. He's from the Saxe-Coburg family from Germany, Austria. This king specifically from Austria. So he actually, one of the main characters in our country, one of the main investors, and of course belonging to the most important family there was in Europe. So he actually came with the wedding that was by proxy. Before, the weddings were not like they fell in love and they proposed to each other. So he came to get married with our queen. What happened is that the palace was finished the first time to be a vacation palace for events, for ceremonies. So it was finished in 1840 the first time. But of course, the ones who ruled the country, women, men would just follow orders. So the queen wanted to live inside. So the queen ordered to rebuild it, which they've done. The palace was finished, prepared for them to move in 1855. Unfortunately, the queen never lived inside. She died 2 years before. Now I'm going to explain how. First of all, it was a wedding by proxy, but in this case, they actually fell in love with each other. Queen Maria II, Ferdinand II, the name of the king. So they got in love, so in love that they even shared a bedroom. That was love. With that shared bedroom, no Netflix, no more. Pedro died in war, great warrior. Died in war, passed to his brother. His father was an artist and a sculpturist and an explorer. Louis, he was an oceanographer. He was obsessed with the ocean. He was studying the currents, the tides, the fleets from the 16th century. They moved back in. The countess moved to the other side of the mountain to a chalet that she had with her husband, called nowadays Chalet of Edla, Countess. Very nice place to live in, actually. But the king got better served. So the king actually got married with Amélie. They never shared a bedroom. They never even shared a floor, different floors. I don't know if you already realized that, but we have so many pastry shops, we don't think it has calories. It's energy. We keep going up the hill, so 4 a day, I think, would be a good number for you to actually establish like moderation of spending energy and effort to sugar and energy. Special place, plate, not place. it's risottos, but I also cook fish. It's all good. But this one here is my favorite chalet in here. Nowadays you can visit. It's called the Bister House. This one is actually interesting because it was actually being preserved by a Finnish couple, but they left. They only did ceremonies and they did their own events. Of course, belongs to the government, so the government was actually profiting as well. A few years later, where the couple left, so they actually started to preserve together. So the country, along with Johnny Depp, the actor from the movie. Okay, so they're now open to public. They profit all by the tickets, but that's it. Okay, nowadays you can visit anytime. Also, all this power and all this is involved already. This house is right here. You will see that you'll have a lot of property around. Those ones were the ones that I was explaining that they actually gave it to the noble class families as a payment, and now they're actually put it to actually kind of a chalet right here. Even the ones that passed to other big families that were monarchs, they actually, there is one of them who gave it, two of the chalets to gardeners that were hired from France. He took the gardeners as artists, so he offered them the chalets for them to live in, or tropical trees. That's why we actually have these ones now. But you'll see them right now on the right side of the bus. Then we'll have the walls. The walls are from the Moorish castle, and you will pass by them, but you also see them from the top of the palace, which is a beautiful, stunning view to the castle. You'll see that in the middle is the only ruins, but outside you can even go over the walls, and that's, I would say, the main event, the main, because it kind of feels like that is everything in ruins, but actually they could rebuild it. When there was the digging taking place, we found some artifacts exactly like the one in Lisbon, and we cannot change anything because it would be preserved by UNESCO being historical. So we have to leave it in ruins because we found some houses and structures that were actually buried already, so we have to leave it as it was found. You've seen a lot of traffic, but now we have the ones who control the traffic just taking a lap around the forest. Difficult life. That is interesting to see.